Welcome, students. Today we're going to look at point-slope form. Now, last class we looked at slope-intercept form, and slope-intercept form was a way for us to take an equation and figure out what the graph looks like. Point-slope form, on the other hand, is a little bit different. Point-slope form allows us to take information about a line and figure out what the equation of that line is. So the goal is going to be to determine the equation of a line. This is different from before. Before, the goal was to graph the line. Now we're flipping things on their head, and we might be given a graph or information about the graph, and our goal is going to be to determine the equation of a line. Let me tell you what point-slope form is, so you can see for yourselves how this works. If a line contains the point x1, y1, and has slope m, then its equation can be written in point-slope form as y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So in a problem like this, we're going to be given the point x1, y1. So x1 and y1 are going to be numbers. And we're going to be given the slope m, which will also be a number. And when we plug them into point-slope form, remember x1, y1, and m are all numbers. What we end up with is an equation that has two variables, x and y, and that ends up being the equation of the line. It's called point-slope form because we need two pieces of information. We need the point, x1, y1, and we need the slope, m, to figure out the equation. Let's look and see how an example works. A problem might look something like this. Write the equation for the line that contains the point 3, 2 and has slope 4/3. All right. So, the tool that we have to figure out the equation of a line is point-slope form. And we need two things. We need a point and we need a slope. And luckily we're given those. We're given a point and we're given the slope. The point is 3, 2. So x1 is the 3 and y1 is the 2. And then our slope is 4/3, so m is 4/3. And now we have everything we need to plug it into point-slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Well, we said y1 was 2, so we've got y minus 2 equals our slope m, 4/3, times x minus x1, which is 3. And so now we have an equation, but we don't want to leave it this way because we're generally not given equations in this form. Usually we like to simplify things and get y alone, right? Y equals mx plus b. We like slope-intercept form. And that's what we're going to do with these problems. So on the right, we can distribute this 4/3 to both sides to get rid of the parentheses. That's going to be 4/3 x minus 4/3 times 3 is just 4. The 3's cancel. And then to get y alone, we add 2 to both sides. And this gives us y on the left. Y equals 4/3 x. And then negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. So we've got y equals 4/3 x minus 2. And that is the equation of the line. This is an example of a basic problem involving point-slope form where we're given the point and we're given the slope directly. But if you look at the linked problems below, you'll see a wider variety of problems. There's going to be some basic ones like this, but then also some more challenging ones where you're given 2 points instead of a point and the slope, or you're given some other information, and so you're going to have to use a little bit of creativity there.